A message from our sponsor SurveyOasis Paid Surveys. Participate at your leisure. Visit surveyoasis.com for more information.
The ancient Norse culture was a rich and complex society that thrived in Scandinavia from the 8th to the 11th centuries. Their mythology, known as Norse mythology, is a treasure trove of fascinating stories, legends, and gods. This video will delve into the main myths and legends of ancient Norse culture, exploring how they evolved over time and highlighting the unique characteristics of their gods. The creation myth. The Norse creation myth begins with the void of Ginnungagap, where the earth and sky were formed from the bodies of the primordial giants, Ymir and Buri. The first god, Buri, was born from the ice of Niflheim, while the first giant, Ymir, was born from the melting of the ice. The gods and giants then clashed in a series of battles, with the gods ultimately emerging victorious. As the myth progressed, the gods created the world, Midgard, from the body of Ymir. The earth was formed from his flesh, the mountains from his bones, and the sea from his blood. The sky was created from the skull of Ymir, with the gods placing the earth on top of it. This mythological account of creation is a testament to the Norse people's fascination with the natural world and their desire to understand the origins of the universe. The gods and goddesses. The Norse pantheon was a diverse and complex group of gods and goddesses, each with their own unique characteristics and roles. At the center of the pantheon was the All-Father, Odin, the god of wisdom, war, and magic. Odin was often depicted as a wise and powerful leader, with a long beard and a wide-brimmed hat. Other notable gods and goddesses included Thor, the god of thunder, who wielded the mighty hammer Mjolnir, Freya, the goddess of love and fertility, who rode a chariot pulled by two cats, and Tyr, the god of law and justice, who sacrificed his hand to bind the wolf Fenrir. The end of the world. One of the most famous Norse myths is the story of Ragnarok, the end of the world. According to the myth, the fire giant Surtur would emerge from the south and engage in a final battle with the gods. The gods would ultimately fall, but the world would be reborn from the ashes of the old. The myth of Ragnarok is a poignant reminder of the Norse people's fear of the unknown and their desire to make sense of the world. It is also a testament to their fascination with the natural world and their understanding of the cyclical nature of life and death. The heroes and legends. The Norse myths are also filled with stories of heroes and legends, such as Sigurd, the dragon slayer, and Baldur, the god of light. Sigurd was a legendary hero who slew the dragon Fafnir and won the treasure of the Nibelungs. Baldur, on the other hand, was a god who was killed by a spear made of mistletoe, a plant that was sacred to the gods. The evolution of the myths. The Norse myths did not remain static over time. As the Norse culture evolved, so did the myths and legends. The Viking Age saw the rise of the Viking sagas, which were epic stories of heroes and legends. These sagas often blended myth and history, creating a unique and complex literary tradition. The Christianization of Scandinavia also had a significant impact on the Norse myths. As Christianity spread, the old myths and legends were often suppressed or reinterpreted in a Christian context. The gods and goddesses were replaced by Christian saints and figures, and the myths were rewritten to fit the new Christian narrative. The gods and Christianity. In contrast to the Christian god, the Norse gods and goddesses were flawed and human. They were subject to the same weaknesses and frailties as mortals, and they often engaged in petty squabbles and power struggles. This is in stark contrast to the Christian view of God, who is depicted as all-powerful and all-knowing. The Norse gods were also often associated with specific aspects of nature, such as the earth, sea, and sky. This is in contrast to the Christian God, which is monotheistic. Conclusion. The ancient Norse culture was a rich and complex society that thrived in Scandinavia from the 8th to the 11th centuries. Their mythology, known as Norse mythology, is a treasure trove of fascinating stories, legends, and gods. The myths and legends of the Norse people offer a unique glimpse into their culture and values, and highlight the importance of storytelling and oral tradition in the preservation of cultural heritage. As the Norse culture evolved over time, so did the myths and legends. The Viking Age saw the rise of the Viking sagas, which blended myth and history to create a unique and complex literary tradition. When Protestant Christianity arrived on the scene, the culture moved from simply accepting the authority of the Catholic Church to one of reading and learning, since now the leaders were held to the written standards of the Bible. In conclusion, the Norse myths and legends offer a fascinating glimpse into the culture and values of the ancient Norse people. Their unique blend of myth and history, combined with their complex and diverse pantheon of gods and goddesses, makes them a rich and rewarding subject of study for scholars and enthusiasts alike.